Hey there, welcome back to my channel. If you enjoyed the videos, please do like and subscribe to the channel. Now let's get started. AITA for not caring about my ex or her kid. I was with my ex for 12 years, married for 8 of those years. I thought we had a great relationship, however, that was proven to be a lie when I found out our child wasn't actually mine. The child was a little under 1 year old when I found out. The little girl was diagnosed with an inherited genetic disease that my wife nor I had, so after a genetic test, I was told I wasn't the father. I left her almost immediately and wished her the best with her life and hoped her daughter would do well. During the beginning of the divorce, I was served with a summons for a child support case. My lawyer told me since I acted as the father for a fair amount of time, I shouldn't be shocked if I'm ordered to pay. I wanted to fight, but I wasn't worried. I had a good backup plan. Long story short, the real father wasn't found and I was ordered to pay. She smiled pretty big after the hearing, and I was upset admittedly, so I told her I'd send her a check before garnishment kicked in. I liquidated all my assets pretty quickly. Took a loss on some things, but hey, I'm still young. Called my parents and they got my room ready and I moved back home. To my home country. I sent my ex a picture of me smiling back home and told her best of luck. I've gotten a few calls and letters regarding the support, but they get blocked or tossed in the trash. I don't think I'm the asshole here. I didn't cheat, and she's not my child. Some people argue about the bond, but I can't say I had a strong one considering I was ready to walk the second I heard about what was up. What does Reddit think AITA and TA? I'm honestly amazed by all the YT ratings you're getting. She knew damn well the kid wasn't yours and still had the audacity to go to court for child support. Good on you for leaving behind all that BS. Completely cut him out and move on with your life. She made her bed with her actions and lies. She can now lie in it. You are in no way obligated to pay up for a kid that's not yours. OP. I doubt anyone in your position would have still stuck around. I wish you luck on a new happy life. OP. I think it's cool that nobody talks about how to cheat. Someone like that is horrible. What is the problem with people? Is playing with someone's life and putting a child in the middle okay? I think this policy is a leftover from the times before paternity could be proven. It was a law to protect a child from being financially harmed by a father who wanted to avoid responsibility and who would say the kid wasn't his so he could avoid it. But now that paternity can be scientifically determined, that law needs to go. The father must be held responsible, the real, not deceived men. It has a mentality that is childish, that what a woman does is not her fault. Everyone assumes that when that happens, the guy must be abusive or stupid. Nobody does that to the guy who runs away when the pregnancy appears, only to the man who stays and takes over without knowing it. There should be processes to hold people who lie about it to account. There's a New York Times article that talks about paternity fraud. Read it. It's amazing. I'm all for genetic testing for every kid at birth so that the father knows it's his. Mom doesn't have to twist themselves all up to get testing done at child support. The genetic component would be done. I agree, but this is a sore spot for a lot of women. If this child didn't have a genetic disorder, OP never would have found out the kid wasn't his, and if he suggested a paternity test, everyone here would call him an AH for not trusting her. Men who want paternity tests are regularly berated despite the fact that they stand to lose so much by taking that risk. This subreddit has generally been on the women's side in these situations. Personally, I have no problem with men wanting paternity tests, even if they have no reason to distrust their wives. A birth certificate is a legal document, and I don't blame anyone for wanting a test before they sign a legal document. OP situation proves why this is such a serious situation. He's one of the lucky ones. Many men are raising kids that aren't theirs, and they will never find out and would be harassed by 99% of the population for even daring to ask for a paternity test. Now let's get to story 2. AITA for how I reacted after I found out my husband ran a secret background check on me before we got married. We've been married for 3 years, and I only just found out recently that before we got married, my husband ran a background check on me and my family. I found out because we were on vacation with his family, and they were doing things I had no interest in participating in a few times, so I stayed behind. He let me borrow his laptop because I left mine at home. I made a folder with my name, and I was searching for it when I found another folder with my name. The folder was full of reports on me, my family, including extended family, and 2 of my childhood friends. I read as much of the reports as I could before my husband and his family came home for the day. At first, I was just hurt he would do something like this without talking to me first, but as I read more and started finding out things about my family and friends that I never even knew, I started to get angry. It's hard to put it into words, but I felt like I had gone cold all over, but also like it wasn't me reading these things. So when I saw my husband, I exploded on him in front of his family. At first, he tried to say it wasn't a big deal, and his cousin chimed in to say it was normal, and he wasn't the only one who had done it in their family. When he saw I wasn't calming down, he tried to get me to go into our room so we could talk about it privately, but I told him I wasn't going anywhere with him and I was leaving. My husband told me to stay, and he would sleep somewhere else or he would leave, but we were staying in a house owned by his parents, and it felt weird for me to stay and make him leave, especially since his family was there still too. I ended up staying at a hotel for the night, and we both flew home shortly after that, cutting the vacation short. AITA? I'm going with NTA just based on how extensive this search seemed to be. I don't think it's super unusual to do a background check on someone, but the fact that it's your family, extended family, and friends leads me to believe that this is some U-level stocky BS, and I'd freak out too. Lol, so funny but true. Joe would be proud. IF the family was like politicians and extremely wealthy type people. Maybe it'd seem normal or whatever. But without that context, I agree, NTA. OP need to run to the door like Beck after she found the box in the ceiling. Forgot to mention, even if they were, husband should have told OP about it. Ooh, 100%. Like, hey, we gotta run this check on you. Make sure. Blah, blah. If you're not comfortable with it, peace out, pretty simple. Like friends of friends background check? A little excessive. But now I like to imagine OP husband is standing across the street casually peeping in the windows, stealing laptops and replacing them. I need a new season already. Same here. It makes a little sense if it's only on your spouse, because some people may have been cheated on in the past, manipulated, etc. It's still a little weird, but extending it to all of your family and friends. Jesus Christ, NTA op. I probably would have freaked out as well. I suggest you talk to your spouse about any trust issues and such he may have, and try to get him some help. I feel like the extent seems like so much more than you typically figure out on a background check also, like when I've done them for jobs it really only shows driving record and criminal history. But the way this reads makes it seem like it was so much more than that. Plus, it wasn't just her, it was like the whole family and childhood friends. WTF, just what? The most I do now is go on case search for the state I live in to see potential criminal history to make sure they don't have any domestic abuse in their history. And that's because I've had to get a protective order, and I know it will say domestic abuse on there if someone has had to get a protective order, since if I search my ex's name, that's what it says. This guy though, just oh my goodness. It's like he's stalking his wife in a way this would freak me out so much.